Housing market in the United Kingdom is dropping. The average house price in the United Kingdom is going down, ladies and gentlemen. The 29th of October, the housing market is going down. 2025, ladies and gentlemen, housing price drop in UK is reality. House price growth has eased through 2025 and now sits at 1.3, which is roughly the same as time last year. However, ladies and gentlemen, today's prices are the same actually like 4 years ago. So in last 4 years the housing market has not moved with average house prices. However, many houses were flipped, many houses were refurbished, many houses actually been pumped, but the price stays the same. If you are not saying that the frozen prices in the United Kingdom for 4 years are not the problem, well, ladies and gentlemen, this is a major problem because actually the M3, the production of money around the world is growing, and the same with the gold price and the silver price and platinum pallad price and other many assets. Those assets are growing, increasing in value, but the housing market actually is going down. And this is one of the major problems in the United Kingdom. Why the market is stagnating or rather dropping and losing against other currencies, as actually we can say that the British market is dropping in other currencies like in Swiss franc and in euro. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you think your price actually gained 5% or 10%? Well, that bad thinking. Maybe it gained 5 or 10% in British pounds. But British pounds are getting worthless as the British pound is losing against Swiss franc and against euro and other currencies. Well, so here are the major reasons: rising interest rate and affordability issue. When mortgages rates go up, buying a house is more expensive in the UK. The Bank of England raised its base rate significantly in 2022 and 23, which fed into higher mortgage rates with higher borrowing costs. Many potential buyers reduce their demand or delayed buying, and of course there is affordability squeeze. Wages are not rising as fast as cost, real incomes are under pressure, declining demand without cheap mortgages, conditions are more difficult for buyers, fewer people are able to afford the mortgage. Consumer confidence also is dropping, meaning people postpone major purchases like homes, and of course transaction volumes falling and listings drying up. Even if prices don't fall massively, the number of homes being sold has dropped significantly. Some sellers are holding off listing because they don't want to sell at reduced price, or because they are actually locked into a low rate mortgages, so they try to take advantage. The reality is that the supply side dynamics and market psychology is very important, while the supply of housing in the UK has long been constrained. Stagnating market means new housing supply is also being impacted. Builders are more cautious, sellers' expectations remain high in many cases, which means fewer bargain listings, but also weak movement overall. Okay, policy and taxes changes as well, incentives and pandemic era support like favorable taxes, transactions conditions have ended, meaning one stimulant for the market is gone. Stamp duty and other costs reintroduced or increased in some cases, adding to buyer cost burden. Ladies and gentlemen, there are many countries in the Europe that actually don't charge taxes like stamp duty. So in United Kingdom, in London, to buy, let's say, £1 million property, you have to pay 10% tax if you are not resident, or you want to, if you are resident and this is a second property or buy to let, then you must pay 10%, almost 10% tax, which means that 1 mil British pounds house costs you additional 100k British pounds in just stamp duty. And there are many countries in Europe that there is only 2%. Well, of course, those countries are facing, because of that, another pressure. So those countries have the problem with pumped housing. So if they would introduce this tax like in the United Kingdom, in those countries in Europe, then those house prices would collapse, of course. So this is not good idea to invest in a country where there is no stamp duty. And in many countries in Europe, the stamp duty is like 10% for many houses, or even more. So that's why those prices actually are squeezed. Those houses are actually smashed a little bit, or even a little bit more than a little bit. But there are countries where there is no such tax, like 10% of €1 million or 1 mil British pounds. So you may think that's a great idea to go to the country where there is no stamp duty tax on properties, but that means that this particular country can have this problem with the pumping. It can be a balloon, it can be a house price bubble. Actually, there was a house price bubble in the United Kingdom. That's why the housing is not going up. But they've got this stamp duty tax that is actually preventing to create even bigger bubble. Another source notes that the average house price growth is very weak, ladies and gentlemen, is actually slightly negative. Analysts points out that true crash levels have been reached everywhere. The market has entered correction, stagnation phase. What this means going forward, buyers may have more negotiating power, especially if sellers are motivated. Homes may hold value better in areas with strong fundamentals, good location, limited supply. But for many typical buyers, affordability remains the key barrier. Recovery or growth in prices will likely depend on interest rates falling, wages rising, confidence actually returning, and supply demand rebalancing. Regional variation will be large. Some areas may see price fall, other only stagnation or mid-growth. If you considering investing in the United Kingdom, if you live in the United Kingdom, that may be good for you to buy a house. But investing in the United Kingdom and trying to like to say, considering United Kingdom as a good investment hub for properties now, actually it's gone, and we don't know how long it will take. So, the housing market in the United Kingdom is dropping against gold, against silver, even pallets and or another platinum metal, and it's losing. Even if the house market in the United Kingdom will recover a little bit nominated in British pounds, then it doesn't mean it is going up against euro, and together with the euro and together with the Swiss francs and other currencies around the world, because this is the major problem. The British pound is major problem that is losing actually value to many things around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this movie. If you enjoyed this movie, please subscribe my channel. I hope to see you soon.